You start off the day with Bill O'Reilly on Fox and Friends this morning, insulting Representative Maxine Waters. I'm going to play the clip of that. He has come out since then and apologized for it. But then in the middle of the day, Sean Spicer, the press secretary, insults a White House correspondent, April Ryan, telling her to talking down to her, telling her not to shake her head. In context, you'll see exactly why and how condescending it is. And then, of course, those no-name YouTube people that I mentioned, not YouTube, but Twitter people. One is a former congressman. Another one is anyway, but it's been a consistent onslaught today of white conservative men feeling froggy enough to attack black women. Let's play the first clip of Bill O'Reilly.
We're saying to those who say they're patriotic, but they turn a blind eye
courtesy of
to
CNN.
The destruction that he's about to cause this country. You're not nearly as patriotic as we are.
So what does that mean, Bill? We've been listening all morning. We cannot.
I didn't hear a word she said. I was looking at the James Brown wig.
If we have a picture of James, it's the same.
It's the same one, right?
Oh,
And he's
okay.
not using
I
it
gotta
anymore.
defend her on
You
that.
guys are all, you're all wrong about
I have to
this.
defend her on that. You can't go after a woman's looks. I think she's very attractive.
But I didn't say she wasn't attractive. I love James Brown. But it's the same hair James Brown, or the Godfather of Soul, had.
So he had girl hair.
Whatever it is.
All right, you can switch Swipper from there. This was before breakfast, right? This is where you get out of the house and eating breakfast good. So, you don't. Bill O'Reilly has a problem in general. Bill O'Reilly has a problem with women. Bill O'Reilly has a problem with black people. Bill O'Reilly has a problem with anyone that doesn't conform specifically to this worldview, this conservative worldview that he has. But then the blatant sexism to completely disregard what this congresswoman had to say because you want to make a joke about her appearance. You want to make a joke about her hair. The joke in and of itself, we can discuss that and we can discuss how problematic it is. But more importantly, it's the tactic that is used to disregard what this woman had to say by minimizing and devaluing her opinion and insulting her. This is all for the sake of what, being funny and making something laughable for his audience. This is not the first time that Fox News has come after Representative Maxine Waters. This is actually not even the worst example. This is actually what Bill O'Reilly did this morning, as disgusting as it was. It pales in comparison to what Eric Bowler did on Fox News a few months ago.
How's this? The Congresswoman, you saw what happened to Whitney Houston. Step away from the crack pipe. Step away from the Xanax. Step away from the Lorazepam because it's going to get you in trouble. How else do you explain those comments?
Oh, man.
And they all just laugh and chuck it up. See, this is the problem. The problem, and hopefully I'll be joined by some of my sisters, some of my friends who can probably say it way better than me, because this is stuff that they experience every single day. Right. They experience this casual dismissal of their humanity and their significance and their opinion, their contribution. They're casually dismissed as some type of laughing gesture, talking about their hair. Tell me more about your fingernail polish. Tell me more about and actually I've been joined here by Stacey Hopkins. And we could talk about it in much greater detail with her. But what's happening with Fox News, and I mean, it's insane. It's insane what Bill O'Reilly is allowed to say and allowed to get away with. Continue on the conversation. What I wanted to get from Stacey, from Anoa, from my sisters, and maybe we'll just do an entire show just with them, is their experiences with this on a regular basis. More specifically, their experiences with this on a regular basis with mediocre people. Right? People who can't compare to their skill level, people who can't compare to what they have to contribute, but they're constantly having to exist in this world where they're attacked by mediocre people because somehow the appearance, what they wear, their hair, their nail polish, their presence is a joking matter. And then you take the Eric Bowler clip and it escalates to this narrative. You go all the way back to Ronald Reagan. All the way back to Ronald Reagan, where he dismissed black women as welfare queens. I mean, it's enough. As if it wasn't enough, all day today, it seems to be an onslaught from these type of people, these men who feel as though they have the right to talk with this level of condescension towards black women. Here's another example. Here is Sean Spicer talking to a White House correspondent, telling her, instructing her on how she should behave.
Hold on. No, but April, hold on. You, it seems like you're hell-bent on trying to make sure that whatever image you want to tell about this White House stays, because at the end of the day, let me answer. Okay, but you know what? You're asking me a question, and I'm going to answer it, which is the president. I'm sorry. Please stop shaking your head again. But at some point, the reality is that this.
The hell you mean, Sean? Stop shaking your head. And you didn't get to see the response of April Ryan, like the disbelief, because she's been crapped on in these conferences by President Trump himself. You remember back about a month ago, he's only been in there like just a little bit over a month, but about a month ago, where she was asking if he was going to meet with the CBC. He didn't know what the CBC was. She had to explain it's a Congressional Black Caucus. And then once he heard black, he was like, oh, are they friends of yours? Next, you have Jeff Sessions completely ignoring her question on the uptick in racism and white supremacy in the United States since President Trump has been elected. And now you have Sean Spicer, who can't handle the fact that she disagrees. God forbid a black woman disagrees with you on something. You're going to tell her to stop shaking your head. I know without a doubt, Sean Spicer would not have said this to anybody else in the room. Not a man, not a black man, not a white woman. He would not have said it to anyone else in this room. Look at all the times people have disagreed with him up to this point. Look at all the people who pushed back on him up to this point. But he's fed up, right? He's fed up with April because April has the nerve to push back on his weak answers to a very substantive question. Then you had Bill Walsh. I don't have any video, any clips of it, but on Twitter, you have Bill Walsh going after CNN correspondent Angela Rye, attacking her with regard to to former President Trump. The premise of his conversation, Bill Walsh, was that we lowered the standard of the U.S. presidency when we allowed Barack Obama to become president. He had the nerve to say this in the shadow of Donald Trump being the most incompetent, unprepared, feckless person who has ever been in that seat in the White House ever. He had the nerve to say that we lowered the bar for President Obama. And of course, Angela Rye came in and said her piece, but then he began to attack her as an individual, attack her credentials, attack her credibility, and come after her. And then in the midst of Rachel Dolezal today, Rachel Dolezal having her press conference, the quote unquote transracial Rachel Dolezal, who wants to be black, but she's not really black. She had this live stream, I believe, with New York Times on yesterday. And so there's a hashtag trending actual black women. And in the midst of that, you have white conservative men, Sargon of Akkad, a YouTuber with millions of followers, whatever the case, whatever his following size is, attacking the hashtag actual black women. So I'm like, all day today, these fools have lost their mind thinking that they actually have the wherewithal and the authority to attack black women when most of them would not say what they said in the face of anybody. Most of them would never say what they said to a man, to a black man, or to a white woman, because they know better than that. But they feel like they have the authority to do this against black women. Now, plenty of black women out there who can speak on their own behalf. They don't need me to speak on their own behalf. Technology messed up on my part. We'll bring them in. Hopefully we can get them on tomorrow and let them speak on their own behalf. But from me to all of them, Bill O'Reilly, Sean Spicer, Bill Walsh, Sargon of Akkad, keep black women's names out your damn mouth because you don't know what you're messing with. Stay away. Don't address them except for to say, yes, ma'am. Don't say anything to them other than, okay. You want to have a conversation? You want to debate? You want to debate on the merits? Hell, I just did a whole segment on how I disagree with Catherine Pugh and how she quite literally should be recalled. If nothing else, she needs to be primaried and put the hell out of office. If you want to disagree on the substance of what they have to say, by all means, let's have that debate. But what you won't do and expect people to sit by tacitly and say nothing is attack them as individuals, as human beings, especially when you're too chicken shit to do it to anybody else. I say that's number one. That's probably like number 10. But that's it. I can't really say much more about this other than the fact that tomorrow morning, Sean Spicer, before he begins, Bill O'Reilly has already apologized. Good. He should be fired for many things. Like this is like the of all the things he should be fired for, this is just another tick, another notch on his belt. He should have been fired a long time ago. He should be fired for all kinds of things that I'm not even going to take the time to discuss. You can Google it yourself. But he apologized. Sean Spicer, let me help you out, little man. Tomorrow afternoon, when you start your press conference, do not open up by saying good morning. Do not open up by saying, hey, everybody, how you doing? You open up by saying, April Ryan, I apologize. I am so sorry for being disrespectful to you. I am sorry for saying something to you that I would not be man enough to say to anybody else in any form. Matter of fact, remember the girl at the Apple store? Remember the girl at the Apple store who confronted him, called him a fascist, called him working for a fascist, asking how does it feel to be destroying America? All these things, and all his coward ass did was sit there and smile. But he has the nerve to clap back and insult April Ryan. So tomorrow, Sean, let me just help you out. Start the day off by saying, April, I apologize. I was so wrong, and I am so sorry.